Welcome to Cardcore Gamer. Outside it's windy, wet, horrible weather, and that always puts me in mind of a particular sport, a motorsport in fact. You see, on one end you've got the shiny champagne celebrity and razor precision engineering wankery of Formula 1, and on the other you've got rallying, where you've got the dirt under the fingernails. To me it's a wet weather thing, maybe it's an English thing, I don't know. But I was really happy to find that there is a board game about rallying, and this is it. Rallyman 4th edition. So let's start with what the Rallyman's basics are. You either roll dice sequentially or roll them all in a big lot, and you move along the course trying to make sure that you hit the corners at the right speed so you don't fly off and hit a rock or a tree or a field or any number of horrible obstacles. It's a push your luck game, it's dice based, and as such some people are not going to like it. However, there's more to it. You see, the clever thing is you're not trying to get across the finish line first. Like in a proper rally, it's a time trial. You've got a number of dice for each gear. And when you finish in the highest gear, it's the least amount of time taken. So you want to finish the number of turns as short as possible, and you want to finish in the highest gear possible each time, and end up with a really short time. However, the ways you can roll, you can roll one at a time, and take it easy and steady, because every time you roll a hazard symbol, it gets more dangerous. When you roll the third one, you crash, and crashing will cost you a whole minute, and cause you to be upside down in a tree. Whereas, the other thing you can do is time attack. You gather up the dice, you shake them, you throw them all at once, and you earn seconds. And seconds are a currency. You either take them off the time at the end of the game and improve your score, or you can pay them to lock dice and stop them being dangerous. Rallyman's basics really boils it right down to the essence of rallying. You want to push your luck, you want to put your foot down, you've got to drive hard and drive on the edge and really push it to the limit to shave that second off your time, because it's all about the time. It's not about the finish line, it's about getting there in a short time, getting there in a clever way, because it's not just rolling dice, you've got to plan your turns, you've got to make sure that, okay, maybe I could end in 5th gear and have like 10 seconds, or I could end in 4th gear and have 20 seconds and set up a better turn for the next one. You've got to plan your way through the corners. Is it better to take the inside trajectory or travel faster and skid the outside? Is it better to take the shortcut and risk a blown tyre, which will cost a minute to repair and knackers my car slightly? There are decisions to be made, and I think it's going to be a game that blindsides people a little, because the first time there are some problems. In the first game, everybody's spaced out on the course. It's just like a real rally. And because there's no real interaction and a spaced out sort of start, a staggered start, you'll find that the second player copies the first, and the third copies the second, and the fourth copies the third, and everybody just plays copycat through the game. But this is something that only happens in early games, because the first player doesn't know what they're doing, or the second, or the third, or the fourth. You'll find that as you play, people will learn how the game works, and it doesn't end up just being follow the leader. Early games might do, and that's a bit of a problem. So I can see exactly why people wouldn't like Rallyman. Dice, randomness, you've got the multiplayer solitaire, but it's trying to accurately be a rallying game in a simple set of rules. And as such, it shouldn't have cars barging other cars, or you playing cards against people to knock them off the track or whatever. The game does punish you pretty severely for making a mistake, but it plays out over three sections of the rally, 3 stages, and so you will average out your score. Conservative play doesn't always win, because if you're playing conservatively, you're not getting seconds, and the seconds are what counts. The seconds matter, because you will beat someone by just that tiniest increment. Now, the pieces of the game are clever. The way you put together the stages, you've got boards with numerous entrances and exits, and you put them together however you like. There's road and snow, and you can mix and match, and you can make things with lots of twists and turns, or quite easy ones with gentle corners and long straights. It's very, very, very variable on setup. You can do whatever you like with it. You also can choose tyres, which affect the game as well, and that's really interesting, because if you've got a snow section, do you have snow tyres, road tyres? What do you use for the best to get you all the way through the stage? You can choose whether you have a repair phase between each stage. It's a really interesting game. It's really well put together, but it's never too mind-blowing in the rules. So I do think that some people are going to be fooled into thinking this thing is way too lightweight, and it's not really. It's not heavy, but it is intelligent. It depends how much you like pushing your luck, but I love the seat of the pants driving. I love trying to squeeze the last bit of time out of a stage. Now, there are negatives. I mean, I mentioned it's multiplayer solitaire, I've mentioned that, you know, it has got some randomness. There are some things which work really well. The gear cards, you take a card relative to the gear that you finished the turn in, but if you crash, The higher gears give you worse crashes, nastier spills, you know, to come back from, and that's really cool. But yeah, one big problem for me is the base game gives you snow and road. It's a rally, where's the mud? It came in the expansion. The expansion's limited edition. I own a copy, I'm lucky, but some people will not be because it's hard to get, because the game is out of print. Still available, but it's very hard to get that expansion, and that really rounds out the game. I wouldn't say it's essential, but it helps the feel of the game immeasurably. The cars, people find them fiddly, they're Formula D sized. They're tiny little edible looking, sweetie looking cars, which I think adorable, but again I can see why people wouldn't get on with it. I don't want to make this game sound like it's a bad game, but neither is it a miracle. What I like about it is its purity of vision. The guy who made it clearly loves rallying and wanted to distill its spirit into a simple, fun, accessible game, and that succeeds. It works. That is what Rallyman is. And to me, it's a joy to play. So, would I recommend it on the whole? I'd recommend the game if it's your style of play, and if you like racing games and want something a bit different. Because it's hard in a board game to make that sense of speed come across. And in this, it gives you a feeling of tension. Every turn you're trying to maximise what you can do and really cut down that time. And that is actually quite exciting. Even in a game where you're not interacting with other players, that feeling that you're all competing against the time and you're all competing against each other's times, and at the end of a stage you can see where you are, and by the next stage you might have changed it, you might have caught up. There's an element of unknown, you know where you are and you know where you need to get to, but it is genuinely exciting. So Rallyman 4th edition, it is worth seeking out. I would love to see a 5th edition, I really would. The rules have got some holes in due to a multilingual translation from, I believe, the French. Board Game Geek has all the answers, and I've even spoken to the designer himself. The sad fact is that he's had to wind up the company that makes it because he can't afford to do it anymore. I'd love to see a Kickstarter. Apparently there is a French equivalent to Kickstarter which he's considering, but I would love to see a Kickstarter to bring this one back to the fore. Seek it out, have a go, see what you think. So that's Rallyman 4th edition. I love it, and I will see you next time.